This is Celebrity Spotlight. I'm Angela Bacchi, and today we're shining it on Leonardo DiCaprio.
How does it feel to be kind of like the great white hope of the new generation of young actors up and coming here in Hollywood?
That's a hard question.
Yeah?
Well, you know, I don't know if I am, but if that's what people are saying about me, that's definitely a good thing. It's not a bad thing.
Perched on the brink of stardom, a teenage celebrity can often go one way or another. Even from a young age, however, Leo showed poise and a keen sense of the importance of a film's message.
I just want to try as many different types of things as possible, and that's why I've been doing sort of the roles I've been doing for that specific reason. You know, I see a character that, like especially with this movie, you know, it's the whole drug aspect and the whole sort of changing into the surroundings of, you know, what Jim Carroll's life was about was a big challenge for me, and I want to challenge myself is what I'm saying. I want to, you know, keep on stretching as an actor, and I don't want to get other people's pressure involved. I mean, my pressure on myself is enough.
For all the pressure he put on himself to succeed, Leo did achieve the stardom that he and everyone else expected of him. During a press conference about his starring role in Martin Scorsese's The Aviator, he gets personal as he shares about preparing the role of Howard Hughes.
You get a script, you read a character, you see there's 2 pages of dialogue of the man repeating the same thing over and over again. Now the writer has his intention, he has his opinion of how that should be portrayed, but as an actor, it's up to the actor's job to then say, okay, what is the driving force behind somebody repeating something like that over and over again, which led me to Dr. Jeffrey Schwartz and to read his book, Brain Lock, and really truly understand the idea of the sticky gear shift and how basically on one side of the brain, these primal urges that you have, the other side of your brain basically tells you, in most cases, people without OCD, that you're doing things that are logical, that are unnecessary. But with the sticky brain shift, you're stuck in that mode. You get a primal...
How we did it in real life, folks.
You get an intense, instinctual fear that something horribly wrong will happen to you. And you cannot stop repeating those same things or doing that same activity repetitively over and over again until that fear or that feeling of anguish has gone. So, thanks to your help and one of your patients, you truly made me understand fundamentally how that needed to be portrayed. I remember as a young kid, you know, walking back a block just to step on a crack because of that same feeling. At some point, you know, through my teenage years, I said to myself, okay, this is completely unnecessary, you're late for school, let's stop this. I was able to make that distinction. When doing the film, to answer your question, the answer is yes. I did then say to myself, okay, let's revert back to that time. Let's start doing these things over and over again. I want to re-experience that even off the set, and it just so happened that it really kicked in full force when I let it. And it just goes to show you how important your work is, and I know you have a non-medicated approach, but it's really truly the rewiring of the circuitry of the brain. I allowed myself to go there. I allowed myself to say, I'm going to have these compulsions and not stop them.
When he isn't walking the red carpet, Leo is out publicizing his films, in this case Blood Diamond, and highlighting important causes whenever the opportunity arises.
Why is this movie important? Well, for me it's important because not only is it about something very pertinent about the world we live in, and we're talking about conflict diamonds in this film, and it is highlighting a very specific time in the late 90s that talks about what we do as consumers and how we need to be more aware, and how certainly these corporations need to be more responsible. And the film, to me, it's about conflict diamonds, but more so than that, it's about corporate responsibility and how everything we do, there's a reaction to that, and to learn about these atrocities that went on in the Sierra Leone is pretty horrific, and ultimately we don't want situations like this to ever happen again in the future.
Great.
And the true measure of greatness. How do you use your gifts and energies? How do you leverage your celebrity? Well, Leo is an environmental conservationist and often advocates in support of natural causes.
Well, it really came from doing a documentary that I did in the late 90s on a major news channel, and I felt that the issue became muddied in the sense that there was nothing definitive about it, and I wanted to be able to do a film that really represented the majority of the scientific community, which is over 90% of the great thinkers in the environmental field that agree that we are playing a role in this issue of global warming, that man does have, there is a direct link there. And I wanted to give these people a pulpit where they could speak freely and openly about this issue, uninterrupted, unedited, where they wouldn't have to argue whether it was a reality or not. And it gave me a tremendous amount of insight into the issue, and I became more educated on the issue as a result of it, and that's the role I play in the movie, is somebody that's just trying to ask the questions of the people that have devoted their lives to this issue. The most challenging part was putting that into a cohesive, hour-and-a-half format, because we had so many profound thinkers and visionaries that said so many amazing things. We had to really leave a lot of it on the cutting room floor in order to get people to be compelled to A, watch the movie, but sort of be transformed when they leave the theater, and that's hopefully what the movie does. I think it paints a harsh reality of what's going to happen if we continue with business as usual, but it also inspires people to understand that there are technologies out there that can reduce our footprint on planet Earth by 90% with technologies that are available today. It's just about implementing that into our daily life,
More than just simply making films about the environment, Leo is fast becoming one of the most vocal spokesmen for the cause.
I think everyone in the environmental movement is really inspired nowadays, because this is at the forefront of the American consciousness. There's no one in the United States that's not talking about this issue now, and I think that's in large part to two things. And I think it was Hurricane Katrina, and I think it was Al Gore's Inconvenient Truth. I don't want to send a mixed message out there when I talk about these issues, because not everyone can necessarily put solar panels on their house. It's just not a reality, and that's very understandable. The point of, I think, this whole exercise, and everyone that's a part of this environmental movement, is get people to understand that we need to vote not only at the ballots by putting people in power that will actually manifest some change to the point where we don't need to think about these things anymore, that they're automatically integrated into our everyday lives, but also we need to vote with our pocketbook, and every time we pay for something, we need to realize that we're advocating where that company does business. And if we buy green, we're going to create a marketplace for that.
Let's close with two personal quotes that illuminate why Leonardo DiCaprio has become so adored and respected. On Stardom, Leo says, "You can either be a vain movie star, or you can try to shed some light on different aspects of the human condition." On whether there are any aspects of fame he dislikes, Leo shares this: "Are you kidding? I feel very fortunate. A lot of people would love to be in my position. There are so many people out there who are suffering trillions of times more than I could ever suffer and would love to be me. I'm a lucky little bastard." I'm Angela Bacchi, and you've been watching Celebrity Spotlight.